One of the most common questions I get asked all the time, is how I prepare my pellets and my ground bait for a method feeder. And if you ask different anglers, they've all got the little tweaks and the little ideas and everything like that. Some anglers just can't get it right. Well, I'm going to show you something now that's going to make it even easier than it ever has been. And that's Squeez-Ready products. 3 products. One is 2mm pellets. It's normal pellets. It's not 2-in-1 bait. It's normal 2mm pellets, and inside they're all prepared so you can put them straight onto a feeder. Also, we've got Squeez-Ready ground bait. Now this particular one, this is an all-round one, and it's very fine, so for catching small fish and other fish. And then we've got a method one that's probably a bit more stickier. It's got more bits and bobs on, bigger particles, but the good thing is there's no preservatives in them. It's just pure. When I say straight from the bag, that's exactly what I mean, because all you're going to do, you're going to tip them in here, and you're going to get an handful and you're going to squeeze them like that, and they're already prepared. They're ready to go straight on the feed. You don't have to wet them, you don't have to do anything with them. They're just perfect. They've got a little bit of SENSATE flavouring as well as an added attraction for the fish. If you want it to last longer, then do 2 squeezes or 3 squeezes like that and make it even more solid. But if you're going straight onto a method feeder, 1 squeeze is more than enough. And this is the ground bait. This is straight out the bag. 1 squeeze, and look at that. You don't have to mess about and have put enough water in. Has it soaked right? Just open the bag, put it in a tub and put it on your feeder. Right, I've been working with David Preston a lot to get the texture of the pellets and the ground bait right, so they're going a method feeder and a hybrid feeder, because you know that I'm really fussy that it works perfectly. So I've got the pellets there, and all I'm going to do, I'm going to use a mould because I'm going to show you the method feeder first. And the first thing is just put a few pellets in the bottom just to cover the bottom, and I'm going to get the hook bait and I'm going to put that in the middle like that, so I know that the hook bait's in the middle. And then I'm going to overfill the mould, and then I'm going to get the method feeder, put it on, press, release, and there you go. Now they're Squeez-Ready pellets straight out of the bag. Nothing's been added. So all I do then, I just check that everything's fine on it, and then when I put it in the water, I know that when it goes to the bottom like that, all I want it to do is get to the bottom before it breaks up. This is why the texture's got to be absolutely perfect. Now I don't care how long it takes, 30 seconds or 45 seconds, doesn't bother me. All I'm interested in, getting to the bottom, don't move it, and then I'm looking for air bubbles coming up. You can see little bubbles coming up now, and that tells me that the pellets now are breaking up and they're going to fall down the side of the feeder, and then eventually you'll see your hook bait sticking out. The fish will come in, pick it up. But it's very important, because if you have them too sticky, they won't break up at all, and if you don't have them sticky enough, what happens is they hit the water and they come off. So the texture's got to be absolutely perfect. So trust me, David's been shouting at me because I want to get the texture right, so that when you take them straight from the bag, you can put them straight on the feeder and start fishing with them. Now that's probably been 45 seconds, and you can now see the hook bait sat in the middle of the feeder of the method feeder fishing. That is fantastic. I can honestly say that is absolutely brilliant. That's method feeder fishing. So what about an hybrid? Well, an hybrid's probably the easiest to use. It's easier than a method feeder, but you've got to fill it the same. Now because you've got holes in the side and the bottom, I'm not a fan of holes in the bottom, but anyway, you've got holes. What happens is it does it differently, it comes up, whereas the method goes flat when the bait comes round. On a hybrid it actually puffs up, so the texture's got to be absolutely perfect. So the first thing is to get the hybrid, fill it up so it's level, 1 press like that. That's how you go, 1 press, Fuel just come out there, but not to worry. One press and it's filled. Then what I do, I get the hook and I put the hook into the pellets. I'm sure you've seen me do this before, and press the hook bait where you want it. Then all I'm going to do, I'm going to put some pellets on the top and squeeze like that. You can see now that the hook bait's been covered and the pellets are nice and firm in there. And then that, when I put that into the bowl, you'll see that what happens is it puffs up. It puffs up, and what will happen is you'll see the holes puff up now, and you'll see the hook bait actually work. That takes longer. It takes longer than the pellet feeder. So what I do, if I'm fishing for fish quickly, I use a method feeder, and if I'm catching fish slower and I have to be more patient, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a hybrid feeder, and that's what I tend to do. So that's the way you fill them. They're straight from the bag. I've done nothing with them. It just makes it easy. Fishing is simple. Make it easy. One thing I really love about that, I can put that in my bag like that, and when I'm going fishing, even if I'm not method feeder fishing, right, and I'm float fishing or pole fishing or doing something else, and all of a sudden I want to change, I go in my bag and it's all there. Just open it up and start fishing. These bags are $1.99. You can get a short session easily with one bag, and if you're going perhaps on a longer session, you might need two, but you won't need any more than that. But one session will last you a long time. But sometimes fish like pellets, sometimes they like ground bait. When do you choose? Well, it's trial and error. It's simple as that. The fish will tell you, and how do they tell you? You just catch more fish on that particular product. Squeeze-ready, ground bait, squeeze-ready, pellets, they're perfect, they're easy to use. Straight from the bag, it's dead simple.